The one who never made a mistake had never tried anything new. Hi, this is Kalpana Reddy from Krushi High School. Today I'm here to discuss about grade 7, chapter 1, and the lesson is about reading maps of different kinds. So before getting into the topic, I would like to wish you all a happy and a healthy morning, children. Hope you all are doing good. So as said, the lesson is about reading maps of different kinds, right? So now I'm going to share a screen for you children. So here, so this slide, what is being shared to you. So it gives you the complete overview of a lesson, right? So it gives a complete overview of a lesson. So here you can see, so as said, reading maps of different kind. So symbols used in maps, physical map, measuring heights on land, showing heights on a map, counter line, uses of map showing heights, mean sea level, and few activities, right? Next, coming to the learning objective. So here, when we see about the learning objective, so after the completion of a lesson, that means after concluding the chapter, you will be able to know the different symbols used in a maps, identify the places on the map based on the symbols, define physical map, illustrate how heights on the lands are measured, describe how heights can be shown on a map, explain contour line, interpret the uses of map showing heights, and define the mean sea level. Now coming to the different landforms. So as said, the chapter is about reading maps of different kinds, right? So what exactly the map is first? So in a simple word, I can tell you as the map is a visual representation of a land feature which gives the information or which illustrate the amount of rainfall the particular land receive, or the forest area, or the cultivated crops, or the language spoken in that particular area, etc. Isn't it? So further, if you want to make it more simple, so simply I can say that map is a drawing of earth on a flat surface, right? So here you can see the different landforms: Himalayan mountains, Marina Sea coast in Chennai, Sahara Desert in Africa, Amazon forest in Brazil, snow-covered region of Antarctica, right? So in the previous lesson, you have learned about different types of maps. So in this earlier class, we have learned how to read simple maps. The maps give details of a climate, forest, height, etc. of different places, right? The world we are living is full of different landforms such as mountain, sea coast, desert, forest, snow covered region, etc. as shown on the screen, right? And coming to the next one, symbols used in maps. So generally you might have noticed that when you see a map, when you look at a map, you'll find different symbol on it, isn't it? Yes. So do you know that why the symbols are used? These symbols are used to denote the physical object on a map, isn't it? Because see, for example, if you want, if in a place, so like in a place, if there is a temple, so directly the temple can't, you can't draw like you can't place a big temple on a map, isn't it? So to donate the physical objects, to make it more comfort or to make more simpler, so what we people, the geographers, what they did, they used different symbols. They used different symbols to understand the map, right? So as shown in the screen, so usually we use symbols to represent the physical object on a map. Some of the symbols are listed in the table shown on a screen. So here you can see different symbols are there. Yes, different symbols are there and the description of it, right? Hence, in order to represent all the physical object on a map, line or an area symbol is used. So if we want to represent the physical object on a map, generally we use few symbols. We use few symbols which gives the description of that particular object, right? So as you can see here, so a dot is there, right? So here a dot is there. The symbol is used to represent the particular place or area. Now coming to the line. So here if you see, the blue color line, this symbol is used. The second one, this symbol is used to represent a river. Then third one, you can see the symbol is used to represent a railway track. Yes, so this symbol, you can see the third one, we use it for to represent a railway track. And coming to the fourth one, this symbol is used to represent a temple, right? And the fifth one, this symbol is used to represent a church. Sixth one is the symbol which is used to represent a mosque. And a plain line, this symbol is used to represent the external boundary of a country, isn't it? So see, you can use, so see here in this map also you can see, and here index is given. Yes, so what all the symbols they have used it to denote or to represent that physical object, right children? So coming to the next one, now physical map. What exactly the physical map? Physical map is nothing but we shows the different landforms. We shows the different landforms. So here on the picture also you can see. So if you take our map, like our country's map, so our country, so India is completely surrounded by different landforms, isn't it? So we have plains, plateaus, mountains, and ocean, then snow covered areas, etc. So to donate this different landforms, we use generally different colors. We use generally different colors. So here usually we find some maps in atlas called the physical maps. Normally in these maps we can observe the different parts of a land colored in different color, yellow and brown, right? And these colors denotes the variety of landforms such as plains, mountains, plateaus, etc. and also shows the height of a place. So not only different landform, these color also denotes the height of a place. It also helps us to locate the height of a place. Now next coming to the different landforms. So here you can see the picture or the image in the physical map shown, we can observe that the various part of the land is colored in green, yellow, brown and blue. The variation in color denotes the height. So here you can see the different colors are used in a map. So these maps are used to represent the variation in the heights, to denote the heights. Is that clear to you children? So next, coming to measuring heights. Generally how we measure the height. Generally how the height of a place is measured. So we'll take a small example. So here you can see normally all heights on the lands are measured from the sea level. So see, like generally from how we calculate the height of a particular place. So the height, the 0 meter is considered as the sea level. Okay, so the sea level is considered as the 0 meter. So all over the world, so all the seas are connected to one another. So the top surface of the sea level is taken as the 0 meter. So generally we all know that. So all the like water bodies or the seas are connected to each other. Okay, somewhere or the other. So the upper part or the top surface of the sea level is considered as the 0 meter. So we'll calculate the height of a place from that 0 meter. Okay, children. So from the above picture, we can observe clearly that Kongara village is 50 meters above the sea level. So here in this picture, you can see, sorry. So in this picture, you can see the height of a Kongara village. One second, children. Yeah, just give me a time. Yes, so here you can see that. So the height of a place. So if you see the Kongara village here, so the height of a place, the Kongara village is placed at 50 meters height. So from where they have calculated from 0 meter. So where exactly the 0 meter is calculated from the sea level. So here from here you can see, right? Is that clear to you? And now moving to the next topic, showing heights on a map. Isn't it showing heights on a map? So if you see here, so you can see the different colors. So the land is shaded with, the image is shaded with different colors. So image of a Kongara village. So generally how we'll calculate the height. The image on the screen is the map of Kongara village. Can you observe three height zones in this image? Yes, the area from 0 meter to 50 meter is in green color. So the area which is 0 meter to 50 meter is shaded in green color, and the area from 51 meters to 100 meter is in pink color, which represents the 100 meter height. Okay, and now moving to the next one. Area from 101 meter to 150 meters brown represents the 150 meters height. Thus, the different heights are represented through different colors. Is that clear to you? So different heights are represented by using the different colors. So where exactly the like in the Kongra village is placed now, you can see here that means it is around 101 to 150 meters, right children? Now moving to the next one, counter line. What exactly the counter lines? You know what exactly the counter lines? Counter lines are the line joining the place of same height. So earlier, even in the 6th class also, you might have learned about this. So counter lines are the line joining places with the equal heights. They never meet or they never intersect each other, and means it will be an irregular form, children, because it depends on the landform, the shape or the like structure of the landform. Right, in this picture on the screen, a person A is at below sea level, person B is at 0 contour line sea level, and person C is at 50 meters above the sea level. The shape of the contour line is irregular as they depend upon the landform. So here in the image you can see person A is standing where he is standing below the sea level, because the sea level is considered as a 0 meter. In the previous slide only we have learned that 0 meter will be considered at the top layer of the sea level, right? So where the person A is standing now, the person A is standing at the below sea level, right? And person B at 0 meter, that means exactly at the surface of the sea level. And the person C, if you take person C, where he is standing at the means like above sea level. Is that clear to children? That means above 50 meters. 0 to the person where he's standing is 50 meters, right? So he's standing at the height of 50 meters. Yes. Now contour lines cannot cut one another, isn't it? So they never cut or intersect each other, because and that means the counter lines will be irregular as they depend upon the landform. Is that clear to you children? So in the picture or the image you can see how exactly it represents. Based on the type of landscape, the distance between two counter line is determined. So based on the landscape, based on the landform, the distance between two contour lines will be determined, right? When look close together, the counter line indicates a steep slope. So you can see when you go when you move closer to it, so you can see a steep slope on it, isn't it? When they are far from each other, the counter line represents gentle slope. Now coming to use of map showing height. So why, what is the use of showing height? The maps showing heights help us in understanding the nature of the terrain. What do you mean by terrain? Terrain is nothing but again landform, right? The location of the mountain and the valleys. So by measuring the height, we can easily locate at what place the particular place, particular place is located, at what height it is located. Okay children, the location of a place, so we can easily locate the particular terrain at what height it is placed. Contour lines shows the height and the outer outline of the terrain, right? So why why we use, in what way we can use this maps? So these maps are very useful when we construct, when the constructions will take place. The map showing heights plays an important role when dams or roads are being constructed. Usually in some places the land will have ups and downs. In such cases, these maps help to decide the route to take for laying the roads. So generally the roads are in the irregular form. In some way you can find up and in some way you can find down. So it helps the engineers. It helps the engineers to plan the roads. It helps the engineers to plan the road in laying it, right children? Next, so Moreover, while planning the construction of dam, it is important to know how much land will get submerged by the dam water. So while planning the like construction of dam, so it is important to know how much land will get submerged by the dam water. So how much land will submerged in the water. So you might have seen dams, isn't it? So when you cross a Krishna river or Godavari river, when you're traveling in a train also, you can find the dams. So you can find big pillars, isn't it? Have you noticed any time when you're traveling in a train? So there will be a big pillars down. So when they are planning this bridge, when the engineers, they plan this bridge, so they will also like means they will also calculate that how much part of the land, like land will get submerged in the water, right? Mean sea level. Now what are, like, what do you mean by mean sea level? So MSL, right? So water tides are of two types. They are low tides and high tides. Now what do you mean by tides here? Tides are nothing but the waves. So the waves which moves in a water or in the ocean. So the irregular forms of waves. So sometimes you might have noticed the waves. So the height of a wave, sometimes it goes very up and sometimes in somewhere it goes very down. So the irregular form of waves, okay, the movement of waves. So they are called as tides. So there are two types of tides. So one is low tides and one is high tides. So in this picture also you can find it. We can observe these tides from the level of the sea and they never stand still. So they never stand still. So that means it will be a very like it will be like in the irregular form, children. It will never stand still. It's keep on frequently changing. Due to this reason, the level of the sea keeps either rising or falling. So scientists were in dilemma as to which of these heights must be considered as a sea level or 0 meter high. So in the previous, like in the slides, we have learned that the sea level, the surface, the top surface of the sea level is considered as a 0 meter. Now we know that, so the like the sea level, so the sea level in the oceans will never stand still, okay, because the waves, the tide goes ups and downs. There are two types of tides, so low tides and high tides. So what the scientists have done, so they have observed this tide for a span of time, okay, during frequent intervals, and they have taken the average, so the average period or the average level as the mean sea level. After a period of time, scientists clearly observe high and low tide level of the sea at frequent intervals and arrived at a calculated average level known as mean sea level. So that the average what they have taken, who has, like the scientists, so the average level what they have taken is considered as the mean sea level, okay. So here in the image also you can see these are the high tides and these are the low tides, okay. So in between whatever is there, that is called the mean sea level. Is that clear to you, children? Next, coming to the summary. The world we live is the full of varieties such as huge mountains, sea coast, desert, forest, and snow-covered region, right? Physical maps show different types of landforms like plains, mountains, plateaus. Using drawing skills, we can represent the height of a land on a flat surface. Usually, heights of a land are calculated from the sea level. All over the world, sea level is taken as roughly the same as all the seas are connected to each other. A counter is a line joining the place of same heights, right? The counter lines will be in irregular shape based on the type of landform. The counter lines look close to each other when the land has steep climb. Next, the counter lines look far from each other when the land is gentle, right? High tides and low tides are two tides that we cannot observe the level of the sea. Scientists clearly observed high and low level of the sea at frequent intervals and arrived at one calculated average level known as mean sea level. Is that clear to children? So with this, I'm going to just wind up the class, children. So if you have any queries, you can just post the message regarding it. Is that clear to you, children? And now, in the next session, we are going to learn about second chapter. Is that clear to you, children? So meanwhile, I just insist you to go through the chapter once again so that you will be having a clear picture of it. Thank you.